Splurge in order to celebrate the start of a new class of my program, The Leap. And I'm going to be doing a particular type of splurge called a preset splurge. To be more specific, a 5 players preset splurge, because if we go over to the screen here, no, not that, or that, my Stream Deck hasn't arrived yet, so this is still a bit of a thing. Yeah, okay, so is here you can see, let's get rid of that, the 5 players. So I've got an 808, I've got a DFAM, that's just syncing the DFAM, that multi-clock thing there. I've got an Omnisphere, I have a piano, and I have a Diva. Okay, so and if you're watching this and you want to ask questions at any point, please feel free. I do make music outside of my streaming sessions, so really these streams are intended to be a kind of back and forth conversation as much as they are you just watching me produce, okay, and make music. So if you have any questions at all about anything, what I'm doing or what you're doing, then you are more than welcome to ask, because we have plenty of time, minimum of an hour. So usually, sometimes it goes on way beyond that. Today I have to stop in about an hour and a half, but it might be way shorter than that. We'll see. So and also any lurkers who are willing to say hello, please de-lurk yourself and please say hello in the chat, because that just makes this whole thing a lot more fun for everybody, including me. So this is a preset splurge, and what that basically means is, and by the way, this isn't the only thing that I do while splurging. It's not about using presets. I do use presets as starting points quite often, but really the preset splurge is there in order to encourage a certain type of, so it's like almost to build a particular muscle in the creative process, and it's a particular rule I add to the splurge, which is go with the first preset that you find, or if, for instance, in the case of the DFAM over here, is randomly twiddle the knobs without playing it, and then listen to it, and you've got to get to the first kind of sound that's usable. Okay, and there is a reason for doing this. It's a creative reason, and I'm just going to, all right, so let's have a go. So when I started this was what was playing. Yeah, so I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to create a random situation. Quiet. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. That's weird. I checked this beforehand, so I don't know what's going on. 1. There we go. Is that better? Okay. Oh wow, Manuel is early today rather than late. Hopefully that will be better. Sorry about that. Okay. No, Matt, I am on YouTube. That will be the best quality video. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitch and Periscope. Okay. So yeah, if you want to find me on any of those channels, just go to my various different pages. What I've noticed is that YouTube tends to be I haven't actually checked, probably YouTube or Twitch tend to be the best quality video. So anyway, what am I doing? Oh yes, so going back to the presets. Very strange. Right. The really good news is I'm getting something this week which will actually mean I don't have to, because the way that it's set up at the moment is that I haven't got enough holes into this sound card there, which means that whenever I make a video, which I do as well, you know, a video for programs or anything like that, or when I do a different kind of thing in my studio, I have to keep on unplugging and replugging things in, and it's really, really annoying because a lot of the software doesn't seem to save the settings that I use because it's just, you know, it's just not very good. So I'm getting something which means I won't have to unplug anything or change anything, and it will just work in all circumstances because I will have enough holes in to my machine. So it will just be, you know, because every single time I do a live stream, it takes me about 45 minutes to set up, which is obviously not ideal. So yes, happy Monday, everybody. Although for me it's Tuesday. So this was what it sounded like before the defam, and what I'm going to do in order to get the simulation of the preset splurge rule, I'm just going to randomly twist some knobs. Okay, I'm just going to go see what happens. Yeah, so I haven't listened to that at all, obviously. Let's just twist that switch as well and see what that sounds like. Okay. Okay. Mental! Totally mental! Right, so what I'm going to do... Wow. What on earth is going on there? It's interesting. Wow. Oh, this is so much fun! Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow this down and see what happens now. Track done. That's right, Matt. Finished. Just press record. Okay. I think what I might do is start with this as a... You're right, start with just a recording. So Manuel is asking, I'm going to move over to here so I can speak. Actually, Manuel is asking is what VSTs I use as my 5 players template now. I don't have a set 5. I don't have really set templates. I do, and I kind of do. I'm constantly changing them, but I don't change them immediately. So what I'll do is I'll work with a template for a certain amount of time, and I make sure it is a certain amount of time, even if I don't like it, or even if I'm because not liking it is often just about unfamiliarity. And I've got I am what when I settle on a particular synth or a sound that I feel is kind of I want to be a part of my overarching band. So for instance, a very early one for me was the just nearly pulled out my headphones, was the piano, usually for some reason on F minor, and very often F minor 7. So when I kind of find a sound that I want to use moving forward in my band, if you like, I kind of keep it. But certainly at the splurge end, unless I'm doing a specific type of splurge, like a style splurge or something like that, I will be constantly changing things and moving things forward. So I don't really have a specific template exactly, because, you know, in order to really kind of create your own style, you do want to be, it's a paradox. Not really a paradox. It's kind of a combination of two opposing things. On the one hand, you want to be figuring out what the sounds are that you're going to use. You know, when you think about any, I don't know, rock band, for instance, they have a sound, and that is partly about what they use. Yeah. But they've kind of come to that over time. Yeah. And, you know, for instance, the singer in the band will you know, as soon as you hear that voice, you know who it is that's singing. So we want to, as if you're an instrumental electronic musician, you kind of want to simulate that to a certain extent, but at the same time, so that's on the one end of kind of determining what the specific sounds that you're using. But then on the other hand, you also want to be progressing, moving forward, and not getting stale. So you've got to keep in mind those two concerns, if you like. Mark's saying, I really struggled today with my template when I was doing 2 splurges. I really have to get into this way because I work differently in the last months. So how did you struggle, Mark? Let me know how you struggled. Because like, what was it that you did that meant you struggled? Because, I mean, I don't think it's really possible to struggle with the template. It's only really possible to struggle with yourself. Yeah. So there must be something that you're doing or the way you're approaching this, which means you're struggling. So what is? Yeah. Tell me in the comments what you're struggling with, how you're struggling, and we can figure it out. Right. So back to this. I'm just going to do a bit of recording. Make sure it's not in there. No worries, Manuel. You're always welcome to ask as many questions as you want. One thing that you want to bear in mind when I'm doing these live streams is that I don't work this slowly when I'm on my own, because I'm spending probably as much or more time in answering questions. So yeah, if you go, oh yeah, but Mike, you say make music really fast and you're going really slowly and your sessions are really long on the live streams. Yeah, that's because I'm also coaching people at the same time. So right. Yes, Richard, I've laid it out so that the door isn't the central place. I know it won't look like that when I move to the other camera. Isn't the central place. The playing area kind of is. I'm still experimenting with it. Originally that was over there, but then the because I can't do wired in here, but the Wi-Fi kept dropping out, so people had to chase me around the internet 5 times. It's like, so then I had to move everything over there. Oh, so it was a bit. So I'm just going to do recording. I will come to your questions. Okay, so I'm just going to record this DFAM. And for those people who are saying, you know, because the preset split is like, well, this only works for presets. What about sound design? You know, I'm more about sound design. The only way jumpers don't believe you, Mike, only works for You do things differently, and it won't work for my music. If you're one of those people, what I'm doing with the DFAM right now is what you want to watch. Okay. Turn off that click. So Mark, like again, you're focusing on the preset. When you say it didn't really work, that's not possible, right? Well, unless you didn't plug in something, right? what happened. You're focusing on the wrong part. I'm asking, how did you struggle with it? You're blaming the tools at the moment, unless you didn't plug it in right, in which case you've got to plug it in right? You're blaming the tools. What happened with you interacting in the process, Mark? Because you're saying my current setup is this, and it didn't work. Yeah? No, what didn't work with you? Like, where did you struggle? Okay? Tell me what didn't work. That's not true, Mirrorfly. Splurging with nothing but a mouse is possible, even without special superpowers. Loads and loads of people do it. I know this for a fact. Hello, Jeremy. Hang on a minute, is that working? Oh, we'll find out, I guess. It's going to be a bit of a freaky one, this one, isn't it? Oops. Lost my screen. Right. Listen to that in a sec. Right. So first of all, Mirrorfly.
Splurge. Incoming limiting belief. Incoming limiting belief.
Splurging with nothing but a mouse is impossible. That's absolutely untrue. 100% untrue. Loads of people do it. Seen it 1,000 times. So, yeah, they do not have special powers given by God or anyone else. If you say that to yourself, that is what you will experience without a shadow of a doubt. So, yeah, Mark, please answer my question. How did you struggle with that setup? It didn't really work. No, it didn't really work isn't a useful statement. Gerald, do I need to rewrite my list? What list? What are you talking about, Gerald? Sorry, I cannot read your mind. Obviously, if we were in the same room together, then I would be able to read your mind, obviously, because I have that ability. But unfortunately, I haven't yet practiced enough to do that through a live stream. So if you could let me know what on earth you're talking about, that would be helpful. Matt, absolutely. Splurging is more about the mindset and the focus than what tools. I mean, it's not about what tools you're using in the slightest. Yes. Yeah, question earlier. Oh God, you want me to scroll? Okay. What question earlier? Sorry. Ben, what do you mean by splurging? Yeah, so splurging is the first step of every piece of music I make now, and it's a particular way of starting work, which basically means zero focus on quality. You don't focus on quality at all. You just do, well, as far as that's possible, and that's part of it. It's actually figuring out what that means. Zero focus on quality, going as fast as possible, which at the moment is not possible for me to do because I'm talking to you at the same time. But essentially, while you're making the music, going as fast as possible. So you're going 100%, you're just going as quickly as possible. Every single the splurge is basically over when you're no longer splurging. okay, which means that you're kind of starting to edit and things like that. And when it is over, you record what you have done as an audio file. That's a really important part of it. That's a really, really essential rule. And then you do not listen back to that splurge for at least 7 days, usually. 3 days is a minimum. That's what splurging is. Okay, so Mark's saying it's hard to describe. Yep, so this is part of the problem, right? You need to describe the problem. If you don't know what the problem is, then that's going to be one of the reasons that it is such a problem. Describing the problem is the first thing, and it's like saying it's the template isn't working. Is you going, oh, I can't describe the problem, so therefore I'm going to blame the tools. That's not going to be helpful to you. Okay, so it's hard to describe. I sometimes feel that I'm in a frame and can't go out of it, I presume is what you're saying. That's why I was joining the, hang on, let's go again. It's hard to describe. Sometimes I feel that I'm in a frame and can't go out of it. That's why I was joining the leap to break this frame box jail, or how I want to call it. Right, so you're still not letting me know what isn't working about the template. Tell me what happened. Yeah, what actually happened? Like, what are you expecting? It sounds to me, Mark, like you might be wanting something to come out of this, something good to come out of the splurge. Is that what is not working about it? You don't like what's coming out. Answer that question, and I'm going to answer Gerald's question. Yeah, Gerald, I don't think... Okay, there we go. I was doing a discovery session and now realise I write a lot of stuff on my list of things to do from an editor point of view. Now I've caught myself, do I write the list again from a creator point of view? No, you're writing lists as the editor. That's exactly what you do. That's when you are the editor, when you're out of the studio. Okay. Yeah, so, right, Mark. In that case, you're not splurging. Okay. What part of this do you not understand? I'm going to stop being mean now. I'm obviously in a kind of. I'm going to put my stick away. All right. 0, 3 words. 0, 4 words. Can't even count. 4 words. 0. Focus on quality. 4 words. Right. So what's in... Yeah, thank you for being so understanding. It's very annoying how this doesn't update on here, because this is the one that you can see. Why is that? Have I got a setting in here? I don't think I'm really allowed to open the settings. Hang on. Yeah, so essentially, I don't know, I'm just going to have to keep on updating it there. Right, so 0 focus on quality means that you're not focusing on quality. Yeah, so that means, like, you saying this isn't working, that's not true. Okay, so the thing you need to focus on right now, Mark, is, or not focus on, is quality. Yeah, and the way to do that is turn up the speed. I'm not talking about the illicit drug, of course. I'm talking about how fast you're going. Okay, so just go faster, because the reason really for the rule about going as quickly as you can. And by the way, for people who don't know the whole thing, splurging is just for the first part of the process. We don't do this all the time. This is for a very specific reason, okay? But the way to not focus on quality, the simple way to not focus on quality is just to go as fast as possible, because then it becomes much harder to focus on quality. You can't really do it when you're going as fast, like at the very edges of your ability to go fast. Okay, in fact, go just beyond or even far beyond your ability to go, and you will have to not focus on quality in order to get splurge out. Okay. So, yes, row, as it says in the description in big capital letters, the scheduled live video will not be at the place of the scheduled live video. Okay. Because I'm streaming to multiple different channels, which means that I have to create a new stream when I do this, and there's no way of me doing it. That has been and always will be the case for my live streams. Okay. Hello, Georgie, Eric's, Mark, Ro. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. Maybe what I need to do is put it in the. I know what I'll do. I will put it in the image Yeah, because then nobody can go, I was waiting on this other stream. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's have a listen. Yeah, it says it in the description in big capital letters on the other stream. So sorry about that. Hang on a minute, what's going on? Oh no, I've been recording my voice. Oh dear, I'll have to do that again then. Right, I suppose I could leave that. How about that as a splurge? Awesome. All right, let's do that then. In the true spirit of splurging. Hang on a minute. Right. Hang on. What am I doing? One step at a time, Michael. One step at a time. No, it's not your fault. It's me. I've figured out a way of making it clearer, Eric's. So apologies about that. I'll put it on the image. I'll put the instructions on the image rather than in the description. It's totally not your problem. It's mine. Okay. Just figuring this out as we're going along, right? Right. So hang on. So Mike's vocal. Hopefully, I didn't say something inappropriate. Right. Let's try this. So. What's been going on here? No, okay, so that's that. Let me just think about this. Okay, right, so it's number 2. All right, there we go. That's the problem. I opened an earlier thing. So the first part of this splurge is this. So Mark, like again, you're focusing on the preset. When you say it didn't really work, so I'm just going to leave that playing while. Oh, a minute. There we go. And by the way, folks, when I kind of pull your leg, or it sounds like I'm getting my stick out and starting to tell you off, or something like that, please take it as me wanting to help and not anything else. Because at the end of the day, if you're finding something unclear, or you don't understand what I'm saying, or you're doing something for the first time, it's really on me to help you with that. Yeah. And with some people, it requires that I think take a firmer hand, shall we say, and with other people or other situations, it requires something slightly different. So when I am kind of, what sounds like coming down hard on anyone, then understand that I'm doing it because I feel like it's the best thing to do, and I'm not always right about that. So yes, hit alert. Exactly. If you wanna know where the stream is, hit the bell. Ring my bell, baby. Ring my bell. So, although I do have to say that does somewhat pain me, because I'm an anti-notification person. So I'm a very unusual situation of doing things like this on platforms where I know they can be incredibly distracting. But at least this one is about your music and making better music, right? It's like, it's not about, I know what to do actually, I've just had a thought. I'm going to use magnet, because I think what it might be is this. Right, so left 2/3. Right, check this ninja business out. That didn't work. Check this! Silence. Nothing. Oh, I see. Wow, look at that. How about that? Let's put that over there. I'm going to get rid of this over here. That's my Speedify. There we go. Just go like that. And I'm going to put you. Sorry, I'm just moving things around now that I've got this here. Yeah, it was funny yesterday before the first live coaching call of the Leap. I went on the community, and the community for the Leap is on an app called Slack, which is a team messaging app. And I get people to post accountability statements every week, specific accountability statements. And there were literally loads of people who had not followed instructions. And because I was in a rush, and it was kind of early, it was early in the morning, and I was in a rush, and I was trying to get to the thing, and I was just like, oh no, these people haven't been listening to me. I got really annoyed. I was like, oh right, but like, and I got all annoyed with everyone, and then sort of when I kind of later on in the day, I was like, I get it. People are stressed out at the moment, and they've got lots of stuff going on, and we're all in a difficult situation. So I kind of, I get it. And really, as I said, it's on me to make sure that I'm explaining myself well. All right, so I've got to do this again because I didn't record that last one. So let me. Yeah, I started off the call with basically a big diatribe about people not listening. So sorry about that. All right. And we'll just start. So Mark, again, you're focused. There you go, Mark. You're going to get this piece of advice that I gave you, or the question that I asked you multiple times during this splurge. So there you go. You're going to get that for free. And what am I doing? That, right. Okay. So hopefully that's working now. That's weird. That sounds very strange. It sounds very different. Okay. I really wish this was updating. I don't know why it isn't. Appearance, maybe? Let me just check this. I do know there's a screen in here that I'm not meant to show. Compact mode. I could embed it in the stream, but that's really, really dodgy. It doesn't always work. Anyway, never mind. I'll figure it out another time. Okay, so let's start with recording this DFAM for the second time. Eric's. It's amazing how little rage there is in you, given it's about 6:30 in the morning for you. Yeah, this is like, it's actually 20 to 6 for me, and I always get up by 4, so I'm all good, man. It's very quiet, isn't it? It'll be alright. I'm recording at 96, so that'll be okay. Alright. Actually, I'm going to sort this out. Why is it going in? It's number 2. Probably be too loud now. Distort. This is all going to be sorted this week. This nonsense. This the sound card that I'm using to go into at the moment, or interface or whatever, is, and I really don't want to slag anything off, but I hate it. It's the iConnectivity for iConnect, and the reason I got it was because it was cheap, and it was just when I was coming back to making music, and I was like, and also you can plug iPads into it and not iPhones and go straight into, so it kind of that was helpful. So I decided to get that, but the software is like it's so confusing, and it just doesn't seem to remember things. Even if you save presets, it doesn't seem to remember things, and it's just really like clunky to use. So the next one I got was a UAD, which is just like a UAD Apollo, and it was before I got these bits of hardware, and so I got just a twin because I thought, it'll be loads, just 2 ins, it's fine. But now it's not enough, which is why I'm having to basically kind of keep on unplugging and replugging things, and everything, all the levels are wrong each live stream, and because the iConnect thing not saving all of the settings, along with having to replug everything in, it means I'm having to reinvent the wheel every single time I do anything. Because usually I'll do a live stream, and then I'm on a call, and then I'm doing a video, and then I'm doing a different, and then I'm doing a studio session on my own in a different configuration, maybe with a looper, and it's just like, no. So yeah, so that's why the levels are kind of all over the place all the time. Yes, exactly the kind of problems we want at 6:30 in the morning. There are worse problems. I mean, come on. Let's face it, first world problems, right? There are some people out there who are having way worse problems than me. So all I can say is I'm hugely grateful for what I have and where I am, and my health and my family and everything else. And all of the people who are kind of helping with the situation out there. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of Nero fiddling while Rome burns over here, helping people make music, but it's something that I can do. So yes, anyway, so what am I doing? Right, let's start there. Is it just because, no, it's not that. Okay, so it is that. So it must be going straight through. Is that so? I don't really need to worry about this too much because it's all going to change when my new thing comes. Right. I'm really thirsty as well. Always have to advance it to the first step, although that might not actually be the first step in this context, but hey. interesting how the tonality seems to be going like that with this. I don't know what it is about when I twist knobs on a machine like this. My little finger always goes up like that. It's a little bit like sipping tea. Do you find that when you maybe DJing, you go, your hands are like this? Just put those fingers down. Okay. Okay, let's leave it there. So, goodness knows what I'm going to make of this one. Anyway. Oh, there's a bit. The art of pretending that you're doing something when you're not. Come on, you know, we've all done it. Oh dear. Right, let's go back to this screen. Tell you what, I ordered this thing from, it's a Stream Deck, and it's like a basic bunch of buttons which you can set to do different things on a stream, and I ordered it, when was it? I don't know, about a week ago, and I just got this text message from the shop. I mean, we're in Australia over here, and you know, it's an absolutely wonderful country, and amazing place. One thing that needs a little work are the non-internet shops. Are a little bit in the past. I feel like I'm kind of. I mean, no, this is a massive generalization. Not all of them. So yeah, but especially the big ones, right? Because you kind of feel like you're going back to the 90s or something, where it's like you can't actually. Look, I mean, you can. Obviously, I'm overstating it now, but you can't order online. You have to phone them up and things like that. So when you like get this, you have to order something online, and often with some of these places, you'll get a call from somebody going, when are you going to be in? And with this one, and I'm not going to mention the name of the shop because I don't want to slag people off, but so I got a text message when I did the order saying thanks for your order. So not an email, right, but a text message. Thanks for your order. I mean, maybe I did get an email. It probably got lost somewhere. But anyway, thanks for your order. We will get in touch again when your order has been shipped. That was a week ago, and I've not heard anything since. And there's no way of tracking it. There's no way of knowing what's going on. The only way is like, oh my goodness me, you're a huge company. What are you doing? Anyway, I guess they have more important things to think about right now. To be fair, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? So, am I going to keep this on the one? Or on the off? Am I going to go George Clinton style, or am I going to go something else style? Where's my thing? Let's find out. Oh, okay. I'm going to quit this chat and then this restream chat thing and start it again because it's been weird. I think it's in beta actually, which might be the problem. Okay. Okay, so here's the unscheduled mic vocal. Let's just listen to a bit of it and see what I can do with it. It's very quiet, isn't it? So Mark, like again, you're focusing on the preset. When you say it didn't really work, that's not possible, right? Well, unless you didn't plug in something, right? What happened? You're focusing on the wrong part. I'm asking, how did you struggle with it? You're blaming the tools at the moment, unless you didn't plug it in right, in which case you've got to plug it in right? You're blaming the tools. What happened with you interacting in the process, Mark? Because you're saying my current setup is this, and it didn't work, yeah? No, what didn't work with you? Like, where did you... No, what didn't work with you? Like, where did you... No, what didn't work... Okay. Oh, what didn't work? Let's just take that little bit there. Got a problem with my. I'm trying a different set of headphones because they really yank my chain. The other ones, and these are even worse. So, another failed test. I just don't want to have to wear those really massive headphones on my head. Okay, it's cool. What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? Like, where did you struggle? Okay. What didn't work? Is that what you mean? That teacher in there, it was a it's like it was a trombone or something, wasn't it? Is that the one you mean, Dry? What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? Let's turn that on. What didn't work with you? Let's just do that as a repeating one. What's the point? Okay, anybody who's been doing splurging for a while, what's the point of splurging? Try it. You'll find out what's the point. Well, I mean, you know, the one of the main points, Ben, is one of the main points, Ben, is you make much better music. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but you do, and you make a lot more of it. So that's a point. Another point is to build up your awareness of what you're doing at any given moment in the process, which means that you work much faster and much more effectively in the future. Another point is to make absolutely loads of ideas and roll the dice lots of times, because it doesn't matter how many times how much you make music. You know, I've been doing it for probably 20 years now, on and off. It doesn't matter how great you are, you make a certain percentage of good stuff and a certain percentage of bad stuff. And if you just make more stuff, you will get more good stuff. That's another thing. It also means that you practice absolutely loads and loads and loads. And the other thing is that I mean, is that enough? Is that enough reasons to give it a go? I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, you don't have to. You can just do what you want, right? But I have found it is the game changer of all game changers in my creative process. Yeah. I mean, obviously there's more to it. No, we don't only splurge. So. Oh, I mean, very annoying. Hang on. What didn't work with you? There we go. We're getting, so let's just, these are people who've been splurging for a long time. Matt, to remove blocks between you and the ideas. Steve, heaps and heaps of creative ideas like a fire hose. Dry, focusing on the process. Rich, quality through quantity. Dry, separating the creative process from judging quality. Steve, removing all angst from the creative process. Steve, it will blow your mind how high your good quality is. Dry, learning that you can produce an infinite amount of good ideas. Yeah. So, Ben, what I would suggest you do actually is when is it? On the 16th of May, I am doing another free class, if you like. It's a course, yeah, with videos. But I will be live streaming every day, doing the same thing as you're doing. So in that sense, it can be a class, right? So of a program I'm doing called the Idea Explosion Challenge program, which is a $50 program usually, but because of the lockdown and everything, we did it for free. I don't know, about a month ago or something, a couple of months ago. And it wasn't a couple of months ago, when the tsunami of COVID hit, okay? And we've decided to do it again because it was so good. We had like 600 people going through it, and they all had, well, not all, I don't know if they all did, but the ones who got in touch with me, they absolutely loved it. So why don't you join that to find out what it's all about? And if you want to do that, then send me an email to mike@makemusicyourlife.com. And I will make sure that you get enrolled in that, because then you'll find out for yourself. Yeah, no, I know. And I realised that way that I answered was defensive, and I apologise for that. I didn't intend to be defensive. There's something I'm working on. So yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. I get it. It's an unusual thing to do. It is counterintuitive, and again, it's on me to explain these things. It's not on you to understand them without explanation. So, one thing I would say though, in general, is oh man, this is really doing my head in. Yeah. So I don't usually splurge with audio. So obviously this is taking me longer. If I did splurge with audio, I'd get much better at it much more quickly. Okay. There we go. Oh. That's the problem. That's what was confusing me. There we go. That's better. Yeah, with this live streaming thing, one of the things I'm finding, it's very, very, it's a real, what's the word? You know, Ray Bradbury, the writer, said, "In quickness comes truth." Yeah. And that's one of the things about splurging. You learn a lot about yourself from just going really, really fast. And just to relate this to live streaming and what I've just been saying about being defensive and things like that, is that what I've found is that obviously with live streaming, you're getting directly me to you, without me editing myself. So in a sense, a live streaming is like me splurging what I'm like, much more than me being on a video, where I'm like, "Hi, my name's Mike Monday. Yeah, and welcome to. And what I found is that that can mean that I end up sort of being defensive, or kind of, the worst sides of me are kind of displayed, and sort of I can kind of come off this way or that way or the other way, and it's a real clarifier doing this, because I'm interacting with you and I'm immediately coming back at you, and it's something that I'm finding a kind of big personal development thing too, because I'm kind of I'm not watching myself back all the time, because that would just be a total waste of time, but I am watching myself and going, okay, so how can I improve this? So one thing I'm doing is I'm meditating my ass off. So yeah, personality splurge indeed. So 8 Phineas, how do I deal with latency? In what context? It looks like there's a problem there, but anyway, I'm just going to stop faffing around with that. With you. What didn't work with you? 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 I'm going to have to do something to this vocal, I'm afraid. Let's just do an obvious one. What didn't work with you? I haven't used this for ages though, so picture. What didn't work with you? 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 All right. Hello, Sophie. Thank you. What didn't work with you? I love doing them, so. What didn't work with you? Okay, so I tried it myself, but somehow I cannot stream without having delay on playing keys. Delay where? Because the stream is going, I mean, there will be a delay from stream to, from you doing it. Right, okay, it's basically what's coming out of my door is delayed, and also coming out of my mouth. Yeah. So the mic is delayed by a little while to going out on the stream, right? So you've got the stream over here, and you've got everything that's coming out of my setup to the stream. Now there's going to be a delay between those two things, but that's not a problem unless you want to literally like talk to people immediately, yeah, on the chat. It's not the live streaming that's going to be the problem unless you are listening to the audio of the stream. Yeah, so you've got what's coming out of your setup here, yeah, and you've got what's going to the stream here. So if you're listening to the audio of the stream, then you're going to have a huge latency. Yeah, so what you need to do is you need to monitor what's coming out of your setup and not be monitoring what's coming out of your stream. I think that's probably the problem. So there is no latency. There is no latency. So what didn't work with you? What didn't work? Okay. What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? Why is this so quiet? Everything seems so quiet. Oh, why have you quitted on me? Oh man, I hate this software. No, it's going to be trouble because it's all going to be different, isn't it? No, I think we're all right. Okay. Let's just try turning you up. Okay. What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? Yeah, don't forget to like the video. Or the stream. That'll do. Okay. There is nothing better to the chimp brain that we all have and that I have. Well, there's nothing better, that's not true. But you know, one of the things that increases motivation is progress and things growing. So if you want me to carry on doing these things, then what you can do is to help is you can make sure you like the streams and also tell people about them, because it can sometimes, you know, just the way live streaming works, if you're doing it regularly, some days you get loads of people and sometimes you don't get many, and that can feel, you know, I mean, I'm aware of it, so it doesn't impact me too much, but I'm lying if I was to say it didn't impact me at all. So one of the ways that you can kind of increase, you know, if you like these things, is to just like and subscribe and all that. Over here. Oh. Oh no, don't start. Why is that having a wibble? I've hardly done anything. Maybe I need to turn this down. Divine. Yeah. Let's try that. Have I got anything else open that's taking juice? No, don't think so. Yeah. Oop. What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? Yeah, so just so you know, this is one of those splurges where I'm like, at the moment there's nothing exciting happening for me, which is fine. Now, as you can see, even though I've got my 5 players there, I'm not using these really. So for instance, I'm going to use this for a base, and it's definitely not, I had this up the top, yeah, but it's just the way it's working out. So you don't get slavish about the, rules, apart from the Splurge rules of no focus on quality, of course. Okie dokie. Okay, I'll do it. So, Rich is saying, do you have a plugin you could slap on the vocal track from an extra gain? Yeah, I don't need to do that. Actually, like this. going to be a weird number of bars. Is that going to work? Let's find out. I mean, that's it. What didn't work? Is this going to work? Let's see.
What didn't work with you? 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 What didn
It's very weird. I seem to be in a strange... Let me just figure this out. Yeah. We're in between. We're in between keys.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work?
Yeah, so Eric's is saying, it's a good point. So Eric's is saying, what's kind of super... Oh, my screen went black. Got to turn that off. What kind of a super advanced rhythm is this? Sounds so complicated, but yet it works. Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of something like the DFAM, because you do think it does things that you never would have thought of. This is another benefit of splurging, actually, is that you end up with things that you can't think of. You know, if you kind of think your music sounds a little bit like dull, yeah, then splurge more, or get a machine like the DFAM where you just get these sort of weird things happening that you couldn't think of. Yeah, it's all about the discovery. Hi, Grant.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work
Sorry, you've lost me. There we go. Now I'm going to go back to the computer though. Too late. God. Come on, shop. Come on, unnamed shop. Send me something. I've given you my money. I need you to send me the Stream Deck. Or at least tell me what's happening. Please. There's this thing we have. It's called email. It's amazing. You might have heard of it. Okay.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you?
Yes, there's a diva here, but it's actually playing the bass line. So the pads are Omnisphere, just an Omnisphere thing. Oh, and I just realised I didn't use the preset rule, did I? Ah, I forgot. Yeah, so I'm not that. To be fair, I was not doing a preset splurge. So those who are watching this and going, "Hang on a minute," I just forgot. I simply forgot. Okay, so I haven't got time to do another one of them, so I tell you what, I'll do one tomorrow. I'll do an actual preset splurge because I now realise I haven't done that. I did with the DFAM, yeah. So I just twiddled the knobs around, and then started with that and just worked with that. But I haven't done it with these, yeah. So if you're wondering about that particular rule, if you're doing the leap with me and you go, hang on a minute, you didn't use the preset. You're right. It's just because I forgot. No other reason. So I'm sorry about that. I forgot to do it. Okay. Yeah, I mean it does sound like the diva, that one. I'm just going to see if I can come up with. It's like it would be unusual to have a piano part in a piece like this kind of freaky stuff. So I'm going to see if I can find something. Let's remember to move over to this. Okay. Oh, I was recording. How about that? I'm just going to leave that random stuff I did while I was finding the notes. Starts here. So the way that I tend to splurge, because I'm doing a lot of playing, is I'll just play things in and I'll just leave it for the splurge. I'm not changing things. But what that often means is that I get unusual lengths of sections. No, keep. I get unusual lengths of sections and lots of mistakes. Yeah, but I leave them in at the splurge stage. Okay. I leave them in at the splurge stage, but then the problem becomes it gets very, very confusing for me to actually put parts together. But that's okay. I'd rather that. So, for instance, this change needs to follow that change, and now it's all over the place. So, see if I can. So that worked there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this. Okay. Uh-oh, children running around upstairs. Booming around upstairs. I'm going to be able to sort that out when this new UAD thing comes, because I'm going to be able to put a low pass filter on my voice, because at the moment I can't. Because if I put the way it's set up at the moment, if I put my low pass filter on my voice, everything would have a low pass filter on it, which wouldn't be ideal. So
What didn't work with you?
okay.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you?
What was I doing? Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Naughty.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you?
Okay.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work?
Cheers, Alex.
What didn't work?
I'll be on tomorrow splurging again, so.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you?
Ah, no rhythm. So, right, let's get the rhythm going. It's alright, sounds weird, doesn't it? So it's D, let's try that. Oh man. Okay. There. Alright, I've got 5 more minutes before I have to stop, so.
What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you? What didn't work with you?
I'm doing it the wrong way around. Oh, that's why it's not working. I think. Am I? What can I do just to do this quickly? I know what I can do. I'm going to shorten it. Right, I'm going to stop faffing around with all of this because it doesn't matter because I might not use it. So, right. I'll go like that. So you get the break there, and then I'm just gonna, because I want to hear it do this, I'm just gonna, when that all ends, put that there. put that there. Let's have a look. Oh man. Put that there. Just have a little thingy. Just trim that there. Oh, maybe that didn't work. Oh, it did. Good. All right, and let's got that there. All right, and then and let's come back just with that. Maybe from here. Okay. Boom. So it goes. Cool. See, I wouldn't usually play that, but I just wanted to. I wanted to play it so you could hear sort of what I thought of. So, final stage of the splurge is to final stage of the splurge is just to bounce it out and save it. And as I said, this has definitely not been a splurge where I've been, oh, this is amazing, I'm loving it, it's fantastic. It's just been, you know, splurging. Alright, so, what? Let's just call it with you. I didn't call it what didn't work, right, because I avoid, when I'm naming my splurges, I avoid names which have a judgment in there. Okay, so I don't call a splurge, oh, this was terrible and I absolutely hate it. Or, you know, nightmare or anything like that. I just don't, because I'm very aware of, and I want to be mindful of confirmation bias, where you you discount things that go against a pre-existing belief that you have. So I attempt to avoid, in all of the naming of my splurges, anything that has any kind of value judgment in it. So that's what I did there. So I didn't call it what didn't work, because even though it's not, it wasn't about actually the splurge, I might not remember that when I come to listen to it in the future, and it says what didn't work, I'll be like, oh god, this is going to be a bit rubbish, isn't it? And I'm at the moment, I think it's a bit rubbish, but yeah, I don't want to listen to it in the future with that kind of frame around it. I want to listen to it in a much more neutral way. I want to come at it without having any expectations. So yeah, I don't tend to put a name. I don't tend to put a date on the initial splurge. I don't know why I don't. I just don't. Maybe I could. I do put a name on the later session. A date on the later sessions that I do. So okay, and then I'm going to save it. I might as well just show me saving it as well. So has anybody got any other questions about splurging or anything at this stage? Because I'm about to end. No, jolly good. Hang on. Here we go. Okay. Splurge. There we go. That's good. Save. There we go. And that is a wrap. Yeah, so you can do that in Trello, actually, Rich. I'll show you. I don't know if you're at that point in the course, though. Don't worry about it. Put the date in the thing. Put the date in the thing, and I'll show you later. That's probably the best way of doing that. Okay. All right, folks. Well, it's been wonderful to hang out. I'll be back at the same time tomorrow. And this time I will do a preset splurge. That one wasn't a preset splurge, and I will do a preset splurge, and I will use the defam again. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sanitized, and onwards and upwards.